Welcome back to another episode of Beneath the Crust. I'm so glad you're back. The fact that you're back lets me know that you're getting something from the show. As I stated in my 12 o'clock high noon, a moment in life with Lady Cleopatra, that I was going to be talking about white message, black media. Now, what I said, in case you missed it, if you did, go back and look at it, okay? But every day at 12 o'clock, high noon, when the hands are straight up together, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be talking about at 8 o'clock. So that's my time for now. If that changes, I will let you know. But 12 noon, a moment in life, a moment in time with Lady Cleopatra. And then at 8 o'clock, I will talk about what I told you I was going to talk about. Talk about what I told you I was going to talk about at 12 o'clock, okay? White message, black media. The first thing I'm going to talk about is television shows. Greenleaf. How many of you have heard of Greenleaf? Black women, and maybe men too, but I know black women love themselves some Greenleaf. But Greenleaf has a white message, and Oprah Winfrey has a black media. Now, and those of you who are not familiar, now my glasses falling off now. Those of you who are not familiar with Greenleaf, Greenleaf is about a family, a religious family. And they have different shades of children like most African American families do. And in this story, about the Greenleaf, the light-skinned people are the good people, if you can call them good, and the dark-skinned people are the bad people. That's a white message. Oprah Winfrey has a black media. Case in point, at the first show, and an incident, I have a hard time watching it because for that reason, but it does have some interesting things in it, I guess you would say. But I have skip. So when people talk to me about it and stuff, I have no idea what they're saying because I can only stand so much of it. But then that's me. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I want to make that clear because oftentimes when I'm talking about different things, somebody will say, "You don't tell me." I'm not trying to tell you what to watch or what not to watch for that matter. It is what it is. In the first show, these are all church people. The little dark-skinned girl, I think her name's Zoe, I think that's her name. I can't remember. She's there at the house, and her sister shows up. Her auntie shows up. Fair-complected, what we call fair-complected. Her name is, Grace? I hope I'm getting these names right. But anyway, she shows up with her daughter. Her daughter is what they call light, bright, and damn near white because she's mixed. Well, this girl, the church girl, who's been there all the while, who's dark, takes this light-skinned girl and introduces her to drugs. I mean, right off the rip. And throughout the show, when things happen, oh my goodness, the black women and stuff, those facial expressions they have, and it's like they're so aggressive. Even if they're just saying good morning. But then on the other hand, with the light-skinned girls and stuff, Grace and her daughter, I can't remember her daughter's name. They always so quiet-spoken and so polite. And dark-skinned girl, Zoe, I think that's her name, the church girl, she ends up, being boy crazy, while the other girl, the light-skinned girl, oh, she's just so pure and chaste, she's not going to do that. And everything. That's a white message. Oprah Winfrey has a black media. And it goes on and on in the Greenleaf story and stuff where Grace, anyway, the one who left and came back, she have these, and now she got these two men who wants her, whereas the dark-skinned girl can't get a man to save her life. She had one and she turned him gay. The dark-skinned girl I'm talking about. And then the other, Carissa, she's dark-skinned and stuff. When she interacts with her husband, Jacob, oh my goodness. I mean, it's just almost savage. savage. You see, that's the image. That's a white message, that white, and the closer you are to white, that's the good stuff. That's the pure stuff. The darker you are, oh my goodness, that's an angry black woman. I remember I quit watching Divorce Court because that was a while back with, I can't remember the judge's name, but anytime those black women would be on there, the man could say something like, well, she burnt my breakfast. She would say to them, now see, you got this angry black woman thing going. That's your problem, this angry black woman. The white woman, on the other hand, her man could say to her, and I actually saw this, where he said that they lived on a trailer, and she tied a lamp, a rope or something to the trailer, to part of the trailer, just pulled part of the trailer off. She run this truck, she did all these things. But you know what the judge said to her? Now see, Miss White Lady, I mean, that wasn't her name, I can't remember her name, but see, Miss White Lady, you've been hurt. And you're trying to hurt people because you've been hurt. You got to understand, you can't hurt people just because you've been hurt. That's a white message. But the divorce court judge is a black media. So these are the things I mean when I say white message, black media. And it's like we don't have when I say we, I don't mean everybody. And the reason I go back and clarify and stuff, because I know I hate when people just lump us all together. And then two people have called me on it. Well, you talking about we? I ain't part of the we. So I don't mean everybody. But too many of us seem like we're all too happy to keep that white message going, that there's something wrong with black women. The angry black, well, I am an angry black woman. I don't mind telling you that. As a matter of fact, even when I write my name, I put Cleopatra, an angry black woman. So I am angry. And in my humble opinion, any black woman, any black person, period, who isn't angry, something is wrong with you. Anger is a natural response to certain things. And there's nothing wrong with being angry. And the next thing I'm going to talk about, as I touched on earlier today, was with the COVID-19. Let mainstream media, and of course black media, parrot it like, you know, it's the gospel. Let them tell it we're just dropping like flies. I'm surprised that I don't just walk down the street and see black people laid out like a Jim Jones thing. For those of you who are too young to remember, Jim Jones took a lot of people, mostly black, over to, I think it was Ghana. Not Ghana in Africa, Guyana. Anyway, it was somewhere over there. And so if you hear the expression, don't drink the Kool-Aid, that's where that came from. He took those people over there. And then what he did when he got them over there and stuff, they either drunk the Kool-Aid or they gave it to them, you know, and injected it, because the report says some of the places that their puncture wounds were, those people couldn't have given them to themselves. But, and I was saying that to make the point that when they did I think Life magazine, somebody did like a picture of it, and there were bodies laid out, I mean, wall to wall, back to back. It was like a carpet of bodies and stuff. You couldn't step anywhere. You know how you can try to step between, you couldn't step between those bodies. There were so many of them. So with the way mainstream media and black media talks about how we're just dropping like flies from the COVID, I just expect to walk outside and see a Jim Jones set of bodies laying out there. I don't see that. I don't know anybody personally, black or white for that matter, but I'm talking about black folks, who has actually died. I've heard people say they know somebody. I don't know anybody who has died from, I don't know anybody personally who even has the COVID-19. So it would seem to me, if we're dropping like that, and I'm not saying COVID is not real, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying white message, black media, white message is that, oh, you know, they're already at death's door. They got diabetes, they got high blood pressure, they got kidney failure, they got this, they got the gout, they got. But as I said earlier at high noon, every job I've had except one, my first job when I was 18 years old, I worked as a maid in a hotel. I got fired the first week because every day at 12 o'clock, I would find me an empty room. I would crawl up in the bed and I would watch the soap operas. They fired me. These jobs are too picky. Can you believe that? I got fired just for laying up in the bed every day watching the soap. Some of these jobs are just too picky, aren't they? But every job I've had except that one, I've had access to people health records. Everyone I've had. And you know what? White people have just as much diabetes as black people. White people have just as much high blood pressure as black people. White women get just as many hysterectomies as black. From what I saw in their records now. I'm just saying what I saw. Maybe they see something. Where are you, black doctor? I would like to have you come on and let's discuss this. Come beneath the crust with me. This is a no judgment zone. As a matter of fact, on my sign up here, I'm getting another one made, and I'm gonna have no judgment. It's a no judgment zone. Anybody can come on beneath the crust, and we can have a decent conversation. As long as you come up here respectfully. You come up here, want to be disrespectful and stuff, I'll kick you out of here so fast your butt will hit the floor before your feet do. I'm not having that, but anybody, I want to create a dialogue. So if you know something I don't know, because even when I went in, because I ask questions, when I talk to people in the health field, and not just black people, white people, and others, I would ask them about stuff like that, and they say, oh shoot, no. As a matter of fact, you know what I found out? I found out that white people have diseases I have never even heard. I've never heard of these diseases. But here, according to black media, we're the ones who's sick. We're the ones who having all these problems. We're the ones who all this stuff going on with. That's a white message. But look at what black media does. That's a white message that black people are somehow inferior. And I'm not saying we don't have issues and stuff. There are plenty of us who have issues. I'm not saying we don't. But what I'm saying is based on what I've seen. I'm not a doctor now. So no, I'm not a doctor. But I've had, as I said, access to public records. Medical records. And white folks have just as many of these diseases that they trying to say we have as we do. And as I said, they have stuff that I had never even heard of some of this stuff until I started, dealing with these white folks and their medical records. But see, that's a white message. And we're talking black media. And also with the HIV. You remember when HIV, how they always have, it's always something, isn't it? You're either going to drop dead from HIV or you're going to rot away from the swine flu or you're going to bloat and explode from the bird flu. Something is always happening. Have you ever noticed that? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that, how there's always something. And not just with black folks. This is just a general, show I'm going to do about how something always happening to keep us always afraid. And we're still here. The fact that we are still here says that I think maybe they're just trying to keep us fearful. And listen, don't be crazy now. You follow whatever they're telling you to do. If they say you wear the mask, you wear the mask. I'm not saying get that immunization, but I'm just saying. So I don't want anybody to take this as me saying just disregard what's being said. You have to be wise. Wise. The Bible says, be wise as a serpent. And and I hate to even say that because I get a visual. Now, a serpent could be coiled up around my feet and I wouldn't even know it. Why? Because he's wise enough to come in. And he never lets you know he's there until he's ready to strike. And then wham, there he is. So we got to be wise as a serpent. And, and with the HIV, as I was saying, I used to see on buses, on park benches, on flyers and stuff with black men. They were always healthy looking, good looking brothers, which that doesn't make a difference, but they just were. But I mean, all brothers are handsome. Anyway, I'm digressing here, right? I'm digressing. But they would have a sign up, like on the city buses and places, he's HIV positive and doesn't know it. He's HIV positive and doesn't know it. If he doesn't know he's HIV positive, how does the city bus know that? How does the park bench, how do the flyers know that? That's a white message. And unfortunately, black media would go and would say the same thing. Well, you know, they ate. Well, how do you know this? If something is going on in my body right now, and I don't know it, which one of you know it? And how do you know it? How do you know something? What do you look at me? You scan my body? Just scan it. You know, scan here, scan. Oh my, look at that. I scanned the computer. Whole thing, she has a hangnail. If I had a hangnail and don't know it, you would know it. White message, black media. At what point, or do we get to a point where we don't just parrot what we're hearing being said? You know, and I had this guy on my show when it was like a TV show, and I think named Fambro or something here, and I'm in Macon Dip right now, and he came on, and he started the exact same thing. Well, you know, black people have, and I said, no, listen, not on my show. We're here to discuss the epidemic that we're being told is here. How do we avoid getting it? What can we do if we do have it? I'm not here to try to perpetrate, you know, as if one group has it more than others, which they may or may not. But I'm just saying, don't come to me about they don't even know it. I know they're HIV positive. I know more black people are HIV positive, but see, they don't know it because they don't even know they have it. You know, that sounds like a fool. That sounds like an idiot. And anybody who believes it, well, you know what, let me leave that alone. And so let's start being more mindful with what's being said. Let's look at who's saying it. Okay, why are they saying it? What caused them to say it? When did they decide they were going to say this? Where did they decide? And how? How did they come to that conclusion? How did you come to, because let me tell you something. And now Mr. Fambroyo, no disrespect, I just can't remember the man's name. He did say this to me. He said, well, he said one thing about it. He said when we do our research and stuff, he said we always go to public clinics. And he said there are more black people who go to the public clinic. So based on that particular research, what we did at that particular center, yes, more black people have it. So I said to him, I said, now, if I want to find out who was getting public assistance, black or white, which group was getting more public assistance, if I went to the projects, okay, of public housing, and I did a survey, I'm sure 99 and 44th, 100% of those people would be getting public assistance. I'm not saying anything wrong with it. It's there as a stepping stone. Now, if you done dug in and been getting it all your life, then that's another show, because that is there. I see an issue with that, but that's another show. But the point I'm making, 99 and 44th, 100% of those people would say yes. If you went to a company that paid well and did a survey, same 100 people in the project, 100 black people, we're going to say 100 black people, 100 black people in the project, 100 black people at working in this good company, right? You did that exact same survey. Maybe 1 or 2% would say that they get public assistance. So if you wanted to use the survey to make it seem like black people, all these black people are getting public assistance, which one would you use? You see, they say numbers don't lie. Numbers may not lie, but the people who report the numbers can lie. The people who do the numbers can lie. You can sit here and manipulate numbers to say whatever you want them to say through manipulation. You see. So, white message, black media. Why? Here again, it's not going to be why. Do we ever do research? Because like I said, I've asked questions. Where do you get this information from? And Mr. Fambrough did answer me and tell me where they got them. He's the only person I've asked. Black, white, oh, by the way, he's a white man. Black, white, or any other color. He's the only one who at least gave me an answer. I have yet used it. I get stared at. Or they'll say stuff, you always trying to start problems. No, I'm not trying to start problems. You're reporting to me. If you come and report something to me, I have every right to question what you're saying to me. Don't think just because you're who you are. Just like with me, if I say anything, Question me. I don't mind being questioned. I want to be questioned. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna set up this show where you can question me live. And this is my third time doing live, so I about got the hang of it. I found out some stuff today. So stay tuned. I'm gonna recap, and then in a minute, you will have watched another episode of Beneath the Crust, and and you're gonna have to deal with it. Recap. I talked about how white message, black media. I talked about Greenleaf, how the white is right. The lighter you are, the better you are. The more pure you are. I talked about that. So think about that for a minute. It's not just like the news, black media news. It's just black media. Because I told you about the divorce court, what the judge said on the divorce court. Oh, you got that angry black woman thing going. And she said to the white woman, oh, you've been hurt. This woman done almost destroyed this man's pickup truck, and now they live in a mobile home, and now it's tilted. But she's not an angry white woman, according to the judge. She's been hurt. You see? With HIV, with the, or anything else for that matter. I'm going to cut this short. Guess what? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Beneath the Crust, white message, black media. If you want to see something, I have a platform. So I guess you don't really know my platform, but if you have anything you think you would like me to speak on, let me know. And if it's something like with the news or whatever, send me links or everything, and research. Now, don't send me all this fake news and stuff that just doesn't make sense. And sometimes it's hard to tell, because did y'all see this thing with Epstein, where Fox had cut Donald Trump's picture out of the picture? So they put the picture Epstein, and then I don't know who decided that, who went back and put the picture up there. But President Trump is standing in that picture, but it was cut out. And the picture where the Beatles, I can't remember the name of the album, but the Beatles are walking across the crosswalk. They got the white lines, and they're walking across. One of those Beatles has a cigarette in his hand. But you know what they did? They photoshopped that out. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't want us to know that he smoked. So that thing about believe half of what you see, I don't know if we can believe anything, because with the Photoshop and everything and all that. But be that as it may, if there's a news article or something you want, and it's within my platform, I don't guarantee just because you send it I will speak on it, but I will do my best to get around to it, because I'm here to be a servant. I'm just trying to create a dialogue. And I leave you with this. If they close my book, you remember my story. A Nat Turner Runner production. You lock and load. LilyBell. Be encouraged.